What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering. These are always, thankfully, they're a rare thing that I have to cover, but it's always like a weird, I don't really know how to cover it. I think when we covered Chadwick, for example, this was a huge actor in one of the year's biggest films. And his passing was like this, in a lot of ways, it reminded me of Norm Macdonald. It came out of nowhere. Nobody knew about it. And I was left respecting them even more than I did before. Not that I was like a huge Chadwick Boseman guy. I definitely was a Norm fan. But both men kind of suffered in silence and didn't make it all about them. And then when they were gone, it was like, dang, that's gangster, not feeding into society's sympathy and stuff like that, which so many of us do. But the Moon Knight is a show on Disney Plus, brand new on Disney Plus, and one of their star actors just passed away. It's pretty nuts. So what was the Moon Knight? Obviously, Marvel mastered TV by building on established storylines and familiar characters, but the ominous Moon Knight seemed to signal a shift in the streaming strategy. You saw this, this article, stewarded by head writer Jeremy Slater and directing team composed of Egyptian movie maker Mohamed Diab, and the collective duo of Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. Moon Knight seemed to be the first MCU project of 2022, which premiered on Disney Plus. Premieres on March 30th, after Marvel Studios ended a busy 2021 with the release of Spider-Man No Way Home and their season finale of Hawkeye, two projects that have relied on nostalgic returns of beloved heroes and villains alike. The student began a new year with a new hero. In Moon Knight's first trailer, however, our hero doesn't even know who he is, and he doesn't look like much of a hero yet. In the 2-minute preview, introducing a man ostensibly named Stephen Grant, who's played by Oscar Isaac, who has insomnia. As he chains himself to his bed every night and starts seeing disturbing visions, it becomes clear that he suffers from much more than a lack of sleep. This is actually a pretty interesting show, like one that I was pretty interested in seeing. Right now, we've seen kind of a string of L's from Disney in terms of, like Boba Fett is not going well, I think would be putting it mildly. And this does look new and interesting and cool. Now, Marvel actor Gaspard Ulliel has got into a skiing accident and didn't survive it. Marvel actor reportedly passed on Wednesday at the age of 37 following a skiing accident in the French Alps. It was reported that he was airlifted to a hospital with a head injury following a collision on Tuesday, and he did not recover. He was set to star alongside Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac in Marvel's Disney Plus series Moon Knight, scheduled for release later in March. The two-time award-winning player played young Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising, and he played Saint Laurent in Saint Laurent. Not really familiar with Saint Laurent, but I did see Hannibal Rising. I really enjoy the Hannibal series. I wish that I don't really know all the answers about why it got canceled. I know it was a money thing, and it was like a tough spot with, it's big budget, and it was a little kind of rough for network television. And probably Mads Mikkelsen will never come back and do TV now that he's a big movie star, but that was a really good series. Anyway, it has nothing to do with Hannibal Rising, but sorry for the aside. So it says, we don't really know anything about the collision. If he was wearing a helmet. I don't know if people wear helmets when they ski. I don't have money for that. But I suppose some people do. But here's what's interesting. The actor's family and local agents said he was transported by helicopter to a hospital following a collision on the slopes. It says we have reached out for reps for further details. Mountain police have been responding to multiple accidents in the region due to hard snow and ice on the slopes. In the same region, a 5-year-old just also didn't survive just on Saturday when a skier there was another collision with another skier. Now, it was set to play Midnight Man in the anticipated Moon Knight series. I mean, he's still going to be in it. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. And I guess it just kind of... I guess there's not much more to say than that. So, you know, maybe consider checking out Moon Knight at least. It does look like it might be worth giving a try, giving a chance, you know. On the Disney Plus thing, I'm not sure. You know, it felt like it started out so strong with The Mandalorian. And I don't think The Mandalorian was perfect by any means, but in general, everyone really liked it. Then WandaVision, I thought was pretty good, except they couldn't really figure out. People really didn't seem to be aware of the fact that Wanda was the villain in that show. It seemed to not want to admit that, but she clearly was. Hawkeye was a show that I wasn't very interested in because I already knew going into it that it was going to be a passing of the torch thing. But I was like, all right, well, you know, in season 2, you know, at the end of the season, I'll binge it kind of thing. The Book of Boba Fett keeps getting more and more ridiculous. But I do think that the pipeline of these lesser known Marvel superheroes on Disney Plus is a good thing. It's good for us to consume it, especially if you're fans of like more obscure superheroes. And it's a good testing ground for Disney Plus. But yeah, you know, heart goes out to Gaspard's family, and you know, I guess, you know, keep that in your heart when you are watching Moon Knight. I hope you enjoyed this video, although the topic was weird and I'm uncomfortable because I don't really know how to cover this kind of stuff, but I felt like it was a pretty big deal. I guess we'll talk to you again real soon.